So hello and welcome to our Age Well webinar today, how to apply for Age Well Awards. My name is Alison Schneider and I'm the Education and Training Coordinator at Age Well, Canada's Aging and Technology Network. So in today's webinar, we'll discuss our various award options that are coming up with Age Well's education and training team. So we plan to speak for about 40 minutes today. We will have a Q&A session to follow. Please post any questions or comments for the Q&A in the chat or in the Q&A box. This webinar is being recorded and will be available for replay on the Age Well YouTube channel. And as registrants, you'll also receive a link from me with the recording. So without further ado, I'll invite my colleague, Ash McAskill, to introduce herself.
Hi, everyone, and welcome. We're so happy to be here with you today. My name is Ash McAskill. I am the programs coordinator for Age Well and also the Epic AT platform, which we will speak more about later on in the presentation. And I am coming from Montreal, Quebec today. So let us know where you're coming from in the chat, and I will pass it off to my colleague, Samantha Sandassie.
Thanks, Ash and Alison. Welcome, everyone. We are super excited to see you today. My name is Samantha Sandassie, not Age Well NCE, though I do work there. I am the Senior Education and Training Manager for Age Well and also the Platform Manager for Epic AT. Today, as Alison mentioned, we're going to talk for about 40 minutes or so. We're going to try to hit a few key things. The first thing we're going to look at is an Age Well 101, telling you a little bit about the network, telling you about what we do, and giving you some information to help you situate your own work and frame it appropriately for our network awards. We're going to talk about, and Alison, I should say, will be speaking about the Age Well Annual Graduate and Postdoctoral Awards. Ash will introduce the Epic AT Health Research Training Platform and our fellowships offered there. And then I'll follow up with just a slide or two about our upcoming Emerging Entrepreneur Award that's been giving a bit of a revamp in 2023. And then to close it all off, we will have hopefully 15, maybe 20 minutes or so of time for Q&A right after. So save up your questions. Feel free to put them in the chat box and we will get to them as the presentation continues. So what's Age Well? We have been around for the past 8 years as a national network, and we're funded through the Networks of Centers of Excellence program. Since 2015, we've been at the forefront of innovation in the field of age tech. And age tech is what we call the intersection of technology and aging. It's technology-related services and policies to enable healthy aging, to enable active aging, and aging in place in particular. Age Well is a community of researchers, older adults, caregivers, government, not-for-profit, and industry leaders. And our mission is really to accelerate the delivery of technology-based solutions, including services and policies, that make a meaningful difference in the lives of Canadians. In short, we bring everyone together to co-create practical solutions to real-world problems. So Age Well is hosted in Toronto at the University Health Network. We're specifically located in Toronto Rehab Institute on the 13th floor of that hospital. We have 4 innovation hubs across the country that are focused on specific areas like sensors and analytics, digital health, and opportunities like translating existing technology for use in remote and rural populations or supporting the translation of research into policy. In addition, we have over 60 startups that we support financially, and we're comprised of over 350 researchers and over 1,200 trainees like you. These individuals are working on over 200 projects that we fund across 49 institutions in Canada and another 40 institutions globally. Our focus at Age Well is on translational and implementable research. Each project that we fund, each project that is involved in the network works really closely with partners. And those are people from industry, government, the not-for-profit sector, and community to ensure that project outcomes make it out of the research lab. On top of that, all of our projects work very closely with a cohort of older adults and caregivers who take an active role on projects. They're co-creators of projects, not just validators of a final project or a final product. And this really underscores how we do things at AgeWell. We call this the AgeWell way, and it's a way of working that we've really honed since 2015 as a method to bridge the gap between, really great research in the lab and real world impact. For those of you that are, designing technology, design thinking is really integral to every aspect of this approach and how we do things. The first pillar, as we call it, that the AgeWell way rests upon is co-creation. And that's co-creation with your stakeholders, particularly older adults and caregivers, to make sure there's like a good sharing of power and balance of power between researchers and knowledge users. And then making sure that there's also collaboration with folks from outside of academia as well. So co-creation with policy, with government, with industry partners and the like. The second pillar is transdisciplinarity. And this is a way of working that requires collaboration with a multiplicity of disciplines. So it requires you to think about working outside of your own discipline, using different methodologies, working with individuals from different disciplines to create a new method of working and new solutions. And the reason for this, for us, is pretty obvious. Aging and aging in place, healthy aging, whatever we want to call it, is a complex, multifaceted issue. And therefore, it requires a complex, multifaceted approach. Our third pillar is knowledge mobilization and commercialization. Integrated KT, for those of you who do KT work in particular, we really embed the idea that research must be translational or implementable from the very beginning, because creating and marketing solutions requires a networked approach to innovation. We need collaboration with industry, talking to policymakers, ensuring stakeholders and end users are involved every step of the way, and keeping that final aim of getting a product or an idea outside of the lab into market right at the forefront. So now I'm going to pass it back to my colleague, Alison, who'll speak to you a little bit more about the AgeWell Annual Graduate and Postdoctoral Awards. Alison?
Thank you, Sam. So before we launch into a description of the awards and fellowships available, I'd like to highlight that AgeWell is more than just a funding body, and we provide a significant number of freely available training and knowledge mobilization opportunities to anyone working and researching in this sector. The EPIC program is the umbrella term that we use to refer to all things training at AgeWell. As you can see on the top left, it includes everything from events like hackathons, weekly webinars, our annual Summer Institute, online and in-person conferences, to networking opportunities and travel and lab exchange support. In addition, we also offer our Innovators of Tomorrow certificate program. You can see on the top right this time. This 1 year completely free and self-paced program is made up of 4 online courses that encourage you to consider the economic, social, environmental, and ethical implications of your work. You'll learn about the physical, social, and psychological dimensions of aging, examine issues of co-creation, the Canadian healthcare system, and how to design age tech in an ethical, empathetic, inclusive, and iterative manner. Whether or not you intend to apply for our awards and scholarships, I strongly encourage you to check out our affiliate membership program to gain free access to the certificate program, these events, and internal funding opportunities. Applications are accepted on a rolling basis throughout the year, and the application itself is quite brief. So check out that site there. Okay, so our annual graduate and postdoctoral awards. So this is AgeWell's main funding program for graduate students and postdocs. Every year we offer anywhere from 20 to 30 awards that are funded either solely through AgeWell or co-funded with our partners. The value of the awards differs depending on academic program and partnership. We typically see a success rate of about 10 to 15%, and of course this varies depending on the number of applications we receive in a given year. So our important dates to note: applications will be accepted in the AgeWell research portal called Forum on April 3rd and will close on May 12th. We expect to send notice of admissions in early August for a September 1st grant start date. So this year is a little different. Due to the end of the NCE program, AgeWell funds will need to be spent in their entirety by March 31st, 2024. Our partnered awards, however, will have a standard one-year grant term. These grant terms are not negotiable, and unfortunately, there's no possibility of deferment or no-cost grant extensions. Unspent AgeWell funds will automatically be returned to the federal government after March 31st. So all of these are the main details are available on the main AgeWell Awards and Scholarship page. So once you navigate to this page, you can click on the individual awards to learn more. I encourage you to go to the website today and download the AgeWell Graduate Student and Postdoctoral Awards package for 2023, as well as the AgeWell Award FAQ. This has all the detailed information and instructions, and you'll find that the full application form is available as part of the awards package. So always good to get started there. Okay, so all of the awards I'm going to discuss today are meant for graduate students and postdoctoral fellows whose work is focused on aging and technology broadly defined. AgeWell does not typically support bench science, and all projects must align with one of the 8 AgeWell challenge areas you see here. These challenge areas are broad research themes that drive all of AgeWell's research and innovation in supporting older adults and caregivers. They're identified via a national consultation with researchers, industry, government, community, older adults and caregivers as the priority problem areas. And these problem areas demand innovative real-world solutions, and also two that could be solved or ameliorated by technology or technology-related service solutions. So I really encourage you to think carefully about how your work fits into these challenge areas. And in your application, frame your work carefully with these challenge areas in mind. You can learn more about these challenge areas in the Future of Technology and Aging Research in Canada booklet, and we'll post that link in the chat box, as well as by skimming through some of our past and current funded research projects in the research or the news section of our website. So we'll post those in the chat box for you so that you can download that. Now, we'll go through a quick overview of the awards that are available through this competition. First, these are the awards that are offered solely via AgeWell funding. Again, these awards have a grant date of September 1st, 2023 to March 31st, 2024. Please note that the doctoral awards for the standard AgeWell graduate and postdoctoral fellowships are restricted to those entering years 1, 2, or 3 in their doctoral studies. Applications consist of an online forum application, uploaded evidence of enrollment, uploaded evidence of funding received, and 2 letters, one which should come from your primary supervisor, that are uploaded directly by your referees in the forums. That opens up on April 3rd. I strongly advise you to go in, put in the name and email of your references so that they receive that notice sooner rather than later. So the 3 named awards here require some additional pieces in your application. So we'll be offering 1 Michael F. Harcourt Policy Fellowship. The successful recipient of the Michael F. Harcourt Policy Fellowship will be supported and mentored by AgeWell's Knowledge Mobilization, Policy, and Government Relations team. At least 4 meetings over the course of the award term are expected. Applicants wishing to be considered for this policy fellowship will be required to submit a maximum half-page statement that outlines their interest in policy and the potential policy implications of their work. No prior policy education or work is required, and you can be in any year of enrollment. We will also be offering 1 Karen Kobayashi Memorial Award. Applications must demonstrate a knowledge mobilization or implementation focus, and applicants will be asked to submit a 1-page free-form knowledge mobilization or implementation plan. This is also for any year of enrollment. We also offer an unlimited number of AgeWell Indigenous graduate student and postdoctoral awards. Applicants are asked to self-identify and provide a short statement about the Indigenous community to which they belong. Okay, so Through this competition, we're also offering the following co-funded awards. Applicants are asked to indicate their eligibility on the application form. AgeWell and our funding partners will administer our portions of the awards separately. Again, the AgeWell grant term will end on March 31st, 2024, while partner grant terms will end on the 31st of August, 2024. So I'll go through some of these since there are acronyms here. So we have the AgeWell and the McMaster Institute for Research on Aging. We have AgeWell and the Saskatchewan Health Research Foundation. We have AgeWell and the Institute for Healthy Living and Chronic Disease Prevention at the University of British Columbia, Okanagan. We have AgeWell and the University of British Columbia-based Care Anywhere, Smart Biosensors to promote healthy aging and transform healthcare training program. We have AgeWell and University of Calgary Awards. We have AgeWell and the Faculty of Applied Science and Engineering at the University of Toronto. And finally, we have AgeWell and the Faculty of Health at the University of Waterloo. So those are all the co-funded awards we'll be offering this year. And then finally, I'd like to talk to you about our evaluation criteria. All applications in this competition will be evaluated on the following 3 criteria. Firstly, scholarly merit and quality of proposed research. This is weighted at 40%. This section is focused on your research project itself. What is the objective and background of your project? What are you going to do? And how will you do it? AKA, what is your methodology? You will be asked here to describe your expected activities and timeline to completion for the next year. Reviewers will be looking for a very clear research problem, methods that are appropriate to the problem, and the feasibility of you achieving your goals in the timeline you provide. Secondly, we have the fit with AgeWell goals and priorities. This is also weighted 40%. So the AgeWell awards are a bit different than our Tri-Council grants. We weigh your potential and the potential of your project very, very heavily. Here, reviewers will be looking for applicants that have a non-typical or ambitious career aspirations. Those have situated very carefully their work in the AgeWell challenge areas, and those who are already thinking about the potential impact of their work in the real world. We want to see translational projects here, innovative projects, and projects with real-world applications via eventual or potential commercialization or knowledge mobilization activities. And then finally, we weigh the quality of your training environment, and that's 20%. In this section, we want to see a bit more about you and how you intend to achieve your goals. At the beginning of this presentation, you heard from Sam about the AgeWell way of doing things. Reviewers will be looking for evidence of collaboration or thinking beyond your discipline and sector. We want to see those project partnerships or plans to find appropriate partners. We want to see the work with your stakeholders, and we want to know how your institutions and supervisory team will support you to meet your goals. So that's the summary of the AgeWell Awards. Please post any questions you have in the chat, or we'll respond, or in the Q&A, and we'll respond in the Q&A section. And I will pass it over to Ash to discuss the EPIC AT fellowships. And I will also share my screen.
Hi, everyone. Thank you so much. We're actually going to play a video right now that includes one of our current EPIC AT fellows named Karen Young. So we're going to play that video, and yeah, listen up. It's a really great video.
Oh, there we go. Sorry, folks, that did not work. We'll try again.
So my name is Karen. I am a Master's of Science student at the Institute of Health Policy Management and Evaluation at the Dell Atlanta School of Health. public health at the University of Toronto. So my research is centering or looks at how we might adapt a prostate cancer follow-up care application for Chinese Canadian prostate cancer survivors. The reason that I joined EPIC was because I was trained as an accountant, worked as an accountant, then I worked in health human resources, and then the pandemic happened. And so one thing that I saw a lot in my community, my friends, my family, was our elders struggling with using technology to access healthcare, and that was really important to me.
Sorry about that. That was my fault.
That's okay. I can basically maybe just continue on by just saying that basically, so Karen is this is the first year of our program, our platform. And so Karen is someone that really represents that it doesn't really matter what discipline you're coming from. We're a transdisciplinary platform that really is really interested in including many people from different practices. And thanks, Alison. Technology can be funny, guys. Even though we're H-Tech here, it can still be funny, and we're live. So let me just continue on by just telling you a little bit more about our platform. So what is EPIC AT? EPIC AT is a spin-off of the AgeWell training program. It is powered by AgeWell, hosted at the University of Toronto, funded by CIHR, and is created as a collaboration between 11 different institutions. It is a pan-Canadian training platform whose goal is to create a pipeline of highly qualified leaders in research, government, not-for-profit, and industry who can accelerate the delivery of digital health solutions for older Canadians with complex health needs and their caregivers to improve the health, well-being, and quality of life. So unlike the AgeWell Awards, which Alison beautifully discussed before, she's really great, she understands what that means. A lot of that still applies to EPIC AT, but EPIC AT fellowships are specifically meant for researchers whose work focuses on digital health solutions for older adults with complex health needs. So applications are open to any full-time master's, PhD, postdoctoral fellow, early career researcher based at a Canadian institution eligible to hold Tri-Council funds. So these fellowships provide funding to graduate students, postdoctoral fellows, and ECRs to enable their participation in and completion of a one-year training program that consists of an annual in-person meeting in October and 4 online courses, mentorships from at least 2 individuals coming from different disciplines and sectors across Canada, and a capstone project. And I'll just say that one of the things that Karen mentions in the video, and that a lot of EPIC AT fellows talk about, is the benefit of that mentorship. How much comes from working with someone that's been in the H-Tech industry for a really long time, whether that means helping with advancing their careers or just giving them resources that maybe they didn't have access to before. So fellows will have access to AgeWell webinars, seminars, conferences, and experiential education opportunities. Together, the required components of the EPIC AT program require 60 hours over the course of a year, which is fantastic because as someone that's done a postdoctoral fellowship and has gone through all of graduate school, I can tell you that this is really beneficial for someone that doesn't necessarily want to just do an RA-ship or a TA-ship. You're getting training and a salary. So this is the second year of the platform, and we expect to offer anywhere from 23 to 25 fellowships that are funded either solely through EPIC AT or co-funded by our partners. The value of these awards differs depending on academic program and partnership. Last year's success rate was close to 20%. Some important dates to note: applications will be accepted in the AgeWell Forum portal on April 3rd, and then we'll close on May 12th. So mark that down, everyone. Put that down in your calendars. We're giving you guys important dates. Don't miss them. We expect to send notice of admissions in early August for September 1st, September 1st start date. So you can start off fresh September 1st and have that Epic AT fellowship or an Agewell fellowship that starts maybe a bit before or after. The fellowship is not negotiable, and there is no possibility of deferment. So that means you have to start on September 1st, or no cost grant extension, as funds are tied specifically to participation in and completion of the training program. So you have to do those courses, and they're amazing. We've gotten great feedback on them. All of these details are on the Epic AT program page, and I encourage you to go to the website and download the HRTP Fellow Application Package for detailed information and instructions. You'll find that the full application form is available as part of the awards package. So just to kind of share a little bit more about how those fellowships work. So Epic AT fellowships and AT Tech, there you go. Fellowships are provided to trainee supervisors and ECRs as a CIHR subgrant. So funds are salary and meant to enable participation in the training program. The fellowships are a minimum of $8,000 for graduate students, and postdoctoral fellows and $10,000 for early career researchers. So these base dollar values were selected because they represent the typical TA and RA-ship and the average cost to buy out teaching for one course. If you consider the time and commitment, like I said before, of the Epic AT program against the cash value of the fellow, you will note that Epic AT pay is significantly higher than that of a TA and RA-ship. So even more exciting news, Epic AT has partnered with a number of organizations who've committed to top up or match funds to successful applicants from their institutions. In some cases, this year, that brought the value of the trainee fellowships to $13,000 to $17,000, and the ECR fellowships to $20,000. Applicants will be asked to indicate their memberships and affiliations with the following institutions and organizations on the application form to be considered for these funds. So if you're part of these organizations, please make sure to write that down in your application. So those include Le Bruyère Continuing Care, Center for Aging and Brain Health, CABI, Centre de Recherche, Institut Universitaire de Gériatrie de Montréal, so CREGEM, Faculty of Applied Science and Engineering, University of Toronto, Faculty of Health, Dalhousie University, Faculty of Medicine and Health Sciences at McGill University, Faculty of Social Sciences, University of Victoria. I'm still going, guys. Keep listening. McGill Institute of Research on Aging, MIRA, Pearly Health, Réseau Provincial de Recherche en Adaptation, Réadaptation, REPAR, Réseau Québécois de Recherche sur le Vieillissement, RQRV, and Rotman Research Institute Baycrest, and the Termetry Faculty of Medicine at the University of Toronto. So, how can you write an application and understand the criteria? What will just like wow those reviewers? Well, let me tell you, all applications will be reviewed against 4 criteria you will see here. So I encourage you to read the application package very carefully to ensure you're writing specifically with these criteria in mind. So let's begin with the first one. Alignment with Epic AT program goals. Be specific in your application. You're going to see my cat maybe come in. Be specific in your application about your research and the need for a solution. What is the digital health solution? Who are the older adults, and what is the complex health need being addressed? What is the problem that needs to be addressed and why? Your research can involve the needs assessment, development, and/or evaluation of digital health technologies such as information and communication, technologies, ICT, telemedicine, VR, AR, artificial intelligence, sensors, smart environments, and wearables, just to name a few. So remember, don't just isolate yourself just to these. If you're doing something outside of this, apply. That's the whole fun of being someone that's innovative and creative. We want to know, we want to learn about your project and hopefully maybe fund it. Fund you. You do not need to be developing a new technology. Complex health needs likewise can mean anything from dementias, chronic diseases, multi-morbidity, frailty, and sensory loss, among others. If you're unsure, just email us at training@agewell-nce to ask about eligibility of your work. And we will share that email in the chat. And then also your personal statement. So this section is all about you. Here, your viewers want to see your passion for your work, your big achievements, and your career goals for the future. We want to know why participating in this training program will benefit you. And trust me, it will. Scholarly merit. This section is focused on your research itself. What is the objective and background of your project? What are you going to do and how will you do it? AKA, what is your methodology? You will be asked here to describe your expected activities and timeline to completion for the next year. Reviewers will be looking for a very clear research problem, methods that are appropriate to the problem, and feasibility of you achieving your goals in the timeline you provide. We also want to see very clearly that you have chosen stakeholder engagement and EDI, which is really, really, really important. Make sure you're thinking of what does it mean that you're going to include those older adults or caregivers or other stakeholders, and EDI considerations. Potential impact and feasibility. We weigh your potential and the potential of your project very, very heavily. Here, reviewers will be looking for applications. My cat is, of course, brushing against my computer screen. Here, reviewers will be looking for applicants who are already thinking about the potential impact of their work in the real world. We want to see translational projects here, innovative projects, and projects with real world application via eventual or potential commercialization or knowledge mobilization activities, feasibly described. With that, we hope that you do apply for EPIC HC and the other AgeWell Fellowship and Awards. And I'm going to pass it back over to my colleague, Sam, to explain more about the Emerging Entrepreneurs Awards. Thank you so much.
Thanks, Ash. I have been frantically typing responses to questions in the Q&A, so hopefully I've caught you all. Please do feel free to keep adding your questions in there or in the chat box. We'll also have some time to discuss your questions after, if you'd like to be unmuted and ask verbally, or in the Q&A box or in the chat box as well. We'll try to do all three, whatever works for you. So a couple of people wanted to talk about the Emerging Entrepreneur Award. We've actually offered these for the past 5 years because, as you've heard over and over again today, making a real world impact is at the heart of everything we do at AgeWell and now also at EPIC AT. So to that end, we actively support our trainees in making their research accessible to the marketplace. The Emerging Entrepreneur Award has existed as a $25,000 to $30,000 cash award aimed at young entrepreneurs. So those are current students or recent graduates within 3 years of graduation, to support them on their journey to creating or sustaining a viable business. So no need to have incorporated your business yet. That's not a requirement. And in addition to the cash support, EEA recipients were matched with mentors, and they received a number of other in-kind supports. They completed our EPIC training courses as well. And over the past 5 years, we've seen a lot of really wonderful things come out of that program. And to that end, we're going to be revamping this program this year. So instead of our usual spring launch, we are going to be launching the call for applications for a bigger and better EEA program in the summer. So instead of 25 to 30,000, we will actually be offering a larger dollar value. Our recipients will not be asked to complete our Innovators of Tomorrow certificate program. They will be instead given access to an exclusive entrepreneurship support group, as well as mentorship, programs, and also access to exclusive webinars and networking opportunities. So do keep an eye out for that program call in the summer. As I said, it will be a larger dollar value. We're probably going to hit $50,000 as the cash award for this. So definitely keep an eye out. We will be looking at additional partnered awards as well. So we will hopefully be offering more than our usual to EEAs. So again, keep an eye out on our website. We will be posting additional information and the call in the summer. Now, I think it's time to move to Q&A. So please continue to add your questions in the chat box, or raise your hand, or add your questions in the Q&A as well, and we will get to them. All right, we've got a question from Jessica. If students hold a major award from CIHR, are they eligible to apply to the AgeWell Graduate and Postdoctoral Awards and EPIC AT? Absolutely, the answer is yes. AgeWell Awards are considered complementary to other awards. So we have no restrictions on the amount of funding you can receive. We want to see very highly funded and well-supported graduate students and postdocs and ECRs. So no restrictions there. Okay, so I see a question about the EPIC AT fellowship. I see that one of the evaluation criteria is scholarly merit and probability that the objectives will be met within the timeline proposed. Does this mean that researchers who have already secured operating funds for their project will score better than those who haven't? Is this correct? No, that's not necessarily true. The probability there is really focused on your methodology, whether it makes sense and is feasible, including your recruitment plan for that timeline. It's looking at whether or not your knowledge mobilization plans or potential commercialization plans make sense for that timeline as well. And also whether or not the amount of work, the actual research activities that you intend to do are feasible for that timeline. Doesn't necessarily refer to any additional funding that you have. You can absolutely apply for awards before receiving your official admission letter from your university. However, if you are accepted, if you are successful in your application, you will be asked for that ahead of receiving any award letter from us. You can stay up to date with these opportunities by going to the agewell-nce.ca website and also to the agewell-epic.ca website. And you can sign up for our mailing list there. You will be emailed a variety of, I believe it's monthly or bi-monthly newsletters that do include information about all of our funding opportunities and some of our training activities as well.
You have someone with their hand raised. Are you?
Oh, yes, go for it.
Sorry. Okay. So Margot, I'm going to allow you to talk now. So you'll have to unmute yourself.
Hello.
Hi.
Hi. Okay. I just wondered, I thought you mentioned that you had to be eligible to hold Tri-Council funds and that it was like a sub CIHR grant. Does that mean that if you don't hold a professorship, and you just hold like a postdoc within an organization, that you cannot apply for these funds?
Hi, Margot. So that question, you got that language from the EPIC AT presentation, and that is specifically because EPIC AT also offers funding for ECRs. So if you are a postdoctoral fellow looking to apply for AgeWell Postdoctoral Awards or EPIC AT fellowships, you can absolutely do so as a postdoc. It's just that ECRs that are applying for the EPIC AT fellowships need to be able to hold Tri-Council funds by themselves, because we will just be flowing funds as a grant.
Okay, sorry, can you just, okay, so the only ones that you're limited to then are the only ones that you cannot apply to if you don't have that eligibility requirement are the ECRs. Is that what you're saying? Sorry,
I'm saying that, oh, no, only the ECRs are required to be able to hold Tri-Council funds if they are applying for the EPIC AT Fellowship.
Okay.
So it's completely unnecessary to think about Tri-Council funds or anything like that, or any of the rules around funding. If you're a graduate student or a postdoc, you are eligible to apply all the way.
Okay. So it's only that one EPIC AT Fellowship that you can then apply for.
You can as a graduate student or postdoc, but we also offer EPIC AT Fellowships for ECR, so they have a different set of rules. ECRs are early career researchers. These are professors within the first 5 years of their full-time research appointment. It's not a studentship of any kind.
Okay, thanks for the clarification.
Yeah, no worries. Sorry, I think the we don't necessarily give the full terminology for ECR a lot of the time. We just assume everyone knows what we're talking about. But yes, an ECR is an early career researcher within the first 5 years of their professorship, and they are eligible to apply for EPIC AT fellowships only. Okay, so we have a number of questions in the chat box as well. Hi, I'm a postdoc at McMaster. I would like to apply for the AgeWell Mirror co-funded awards. Can I apply for AgeWell Awards, AgeWell Mirror Awards, EPIC AT Mirror Awards, or only one of those? You can apply for everything. And please do, we encourage you to, on your AgeWell application, to use the check boxes to check off all of the awards that you're eligible to apply for and all of the awards that you would like to apply for. For EPIC AT, it's the same thing. We will ask you to check off in check boxes the awards that you are eligible to apply for as well. So list all of your affiliations and memberships. We will consider you for all of the awards. Apply for all of them, but do keep in mind that you can only hold one. You can only be successful in one, but you can apply for them all at the same time. We have a question asking, will you run sessions that look to help us put together a good application? That is this session, Thomas. We will not be running additional sessions. Unfortunately, we do receive a significant number of applications. We're expecting something like 500, and we do not have the capacity to run additional sessions to support applications at this time. Can I apply for EPIC fellowships without having completed the EPIC training? You can apply for all of our programs without having completed our training. You will be asked to complete our training if you are successful in receiving those funds. These are not team grants. These are individual awards and scholarships. You cannot apply as a team of 4. For the graduate awards, the website states that applicants who receive AgeWell project funds concurrently are ineligible to apply for our scholarships and awards. This does not include graduates who are listed as co-applicants, as long as there's no funding coming your way. So you can be listed as a co-applicant on a project grant. If there's no funding, no salary funding listed for you, then you're eligible to apply. So please do so. Are research projects for aging and special populations eligible for consideration? Absolutely, absolutely. I would say at least 50% of AgeWell funding opportunities go to individuals looking at special populations of some kind. So please do apply. Definitely pick the challenge area. Sorry, the question is, if my project identifies with more than one challenge area, shall I mention all of them or pick the primary one? Please do pick the primary 1 or 2. Don't list them all. The challenge areas, as you know, are so broad that your research could fall within 5 of them, right? So please pick the top 2, let's say. You can do additional ones, but if you provide 2, you'll be able to provide meaningful information on your application rather than just a laundry list of challenge areas. I see Ash is going to be sharing where to sign up for the mailing list in the chat box. So I'm going to ignore that. And we have a couple questions in the chat as well. Could you share the slides with us? Yes, the recording of this presentation will be going out to all registrants shortly. Alison will get that sent out to you. So you will have full access to all of that information. Margot's asking if it's possible to receive more than one grant. As I said before, the answer is no. You can apply for more than one grant. You can apply for all of them, but you're only able to receive one. And the reason for that is all of our funding opportunities are linked to training programs as well, right? So we don't want you to have to do things multiple times. Ash has just popped into the chat box the link to sign up for the Age Well newsletter and mailing list. So I encourage you to get to that page and you'll be able to sign up there. Okay, more questions. How are the reviewers chosen? Is EDI focused on when choosing the reviewers? Reviewers are all Age Well Network investigators. So it's a pool of, we have access to a pool of over 350 researchers that are able to review. EDI is not a focus at that point. It is really focused on their research expertise. We do not weigh identity, let's say, when making these decisions. Do I have to complete the Age Well training before applying? I started as part of a grant that my PI is a supervisor for. No, you don't. You need to finish Age Well training. If you do receive funding, you do not need to have finished it before applying. That is all tied to successful, getting a grant from us. So no need to finish any training programs with us ahead of applying, or starting them ahead of applying, I should say. My understanding is that the Michael F. Harcourt Policy Fellowship is not required to be focused on aging. Is that correct? No. The Michael F. Harcourt Policy Fellowship needs to be focused on aging in some way. It needs to be focused on aging and technology related to, or services related to technology. Everything we do, all of our programs must have those components in place. The Harcourt Policy Fellowship is a little bit different because what we do there is we're asking individuals who are interested in exploring the policy implications of their work to apply, because they will be matched with mentors and receive access to programming to allow them to be able to translate their research into policy at the end of the day. Opportunities to meet with policymakers and government decision makers and speak to them about the policy implications of your work, so that hopefully you'll be able to write policy recommendations about your work and reach implementation faster. All right. Those are all of the open questions, and there are no additional questions in the chat box. No raised hands. It is 12:50, so we're going to hang on for another minute or so. If there are additional questions, please do add them in the chat box or in the Q&A, or one of those, or raise your hand, one of those options, and we will respond. If not, Alison has shared slides again. So do email us at training@agewell-nce.ca if you have any questions. We'll be happy to respond. Okay, so Jessica has a question. Yes. Jessica has a question regarding the focus on digital technology. Can you further describe how digital technology is defined? So that one in particular is referring specifically to the EPIC AT fellowships. EPIC AT is a training platform that's a spin-off of the Age Well program, and it's focused specifically on digital health solutions. So digital health solutions for older adults with complex health needs. Digital health solutions is a really broad umbrella term. So Ash gave a bit of a list of some different kinds of technologies that can fit under digital health solutions. And these include things like e-health platforms. It includes apps. It includes ICTs, so different communication technology formats. It includes using AI for decision-making processes for caregivers, for example. It could be a whole bunch of different things. If you have questions about your specific program, program of research, I should say, I really do recommend that you email training at AgeWell and describe your work a little bit, and we can let you know for sure whether or not it fits within our mandate. We're really happy to do that because we don't want you to waste your time with an application if your work doesn't quite fit within what AgeWell does or what Epic AT does, right? So one of the other things I would encourage you to do is go to our website. Go to the agewell-nce.ca website, go to the Epic AT website. It's agewell-epic.ca, and you'll be able to see their examples of the research that has been funded already to get an idea of what is eligible, what's fundable, the kinds of things that we do. And I encourage you, for all of you applying for any grant, to do that. It's one really good way to make sure that your work really fits with the organization. We have another question. What about AI for patients living with dementia? Yes, AI for older adults living with dementia is an absolutely eligible topic for a doctoral application or any application with either AgeWell or Epic AT. It just really depends on how you're using AI and what you're using it for, what sort of platforms you're developing, or what sort of decision-making is happening. So again, sounds eligible to me, but feel free to email training@agewell to double check. All right, gonna give a 5-second countdown. If there are no more questions after 5 seconds, we will call it a day. So 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Okay, perfect. We have no more questions. Again, these slides, this presentation will be sent to you after the fact. So you will have access to all of the information we provided today. Please do not hesitate to reach out to us. I cannot emphasize that enough. Email training@agewell-nce.ca. You will not regret it. Let's put it that way. So with that, thank you all very much for joining. And I'm very much looking forward to reading some wonderful applications this year. Thank you. Have a great rest of your day.